So let's get on Hell's Paradise. So, guys, this is Hell's Paradise episode 10, Yin and Yang. This section of our Hell's adventure centers around discovering the Tenson's weaknesses. Most of our cast finds out about a new power, and we're trying to see if it holds the key to victory. So, just to start out with the episode, we have Gabi Morrow just came down from the cliff and fighting the yellow haired Tenson, and he gets rolled up on by the Blade Dragon and Fuchi, his Yamada clan handler, and Gabi's ready to go. Like he sees that Tamiya is hurt as well. He notices his hand is no longer there, and he can't really fight with that arm. But the Blade Dragon also sees that Gabi Morrow's pretty beat up. He just was on the edge of his life a few moments ago, and they get ready to attack, and Fuchi kind of steps in and says, "No, we're not doing this. This is completely needless. Um, Neither one of you can really fight to your full potential right now, and this is just pointless violence," which I thought was really cool of him. We haven't seen a Yamada clan member step up in that way and stop any fighting. They haven't cared about the criminals enough to do that. So a little bit
You
different.
think you think it's because they're so close to finding Tan,
I think so.
and you think he's like, okay, we don't need to fight amongst each other. We need to, help each other defeat, these Tensons and stuff. This is as close as we've ever been. So,
Well,
Yeah,
they weren't aware of the Tenson until Gabimaru told them, correct? Like they had only seen the Soshin.
That's true. That's actually true.
I think they
Tamiya actually states that he's like, "Why haven't I seen any Tenson? I want to fight strong people too. That's the only reason he's there."
Yeah, I think that they are aware that Gabimaru and them was on the verge of something big, though. I
Right.
think so.
Yeah, and I think Fuchi is also he's a scientist. I mean, the dude loves to dissect shit, so he's looking for something fun to cut open.
Yep.
Like Gabimaru.
But he brought up a similar situation to like who is it? Who's the nerdy looking Yamada clan? Senta, with wanting more information, and he knew he could get it out of Gabimaru, especially with that weird like little girl behind him, all that kind of stuff. So he's like, we gotta get some info out of this guy before you guys deck it out. But in the end, Gabimaru gets down on his hands and knees and basically says, "Hey, we should team up. Like you're strong, I'm strong. Let's figure this out." And we get a little bit into what Dragon's motivations for being there are. And I fucking like this guy as a character.
He seems like one of the more sensible people in this show. He knows he has to retrieve the Tan, and Fuchi's going to make him do so, especially in his weakened state, not having an arm. But yeah, he says, "Yeah, I want to live forever. That's some epic ass shit, bro. I want to be a legend." And hey, that's fair, bro. If you really think the elixir of life is here, go for it. So I thought it was really good motivation.
I thought it was interesting on his part, though. He said he wasn't interested in being immortal because that's boring. He wants to live on in the history books. He wants to be the person in a legend that's passed down through all time. And I think that's a really cool motivation. He wants to be immortal in the sense of he was a legend, which I fucking love.
Yeah. And I was kind of confused, when he first said that he wanted to be immortal. I was like, why are you saying that in front of your handler? Like, your handler's not going to, fall for this shit. And then, he went on to explain it, that he doesn't really want Tan. He just wants to fight some incredible monsters and be labeled as a legend, like you said, Dan. And
just wants to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Just wants to be the GOAT.
Maybe I should work on my reading comprehension. But yeah, that's a pretty good motivation to be here. And that makes me think of the Bob Marley interview where he goes, my riches is life forever, because you do live forever. I mean, we still talk about Alexander the Great, and I like to say that every man dies once, but only some of them die twice, and you die twice when no one says your name anymore. So that was actually really smart of him, to try to live on in that way. But yeah, we also saw in this scene May she got older. She morphed and got older and could talk a little bit finally.
How'd you like the talking, bro?
I thought it was fucking hilarious. She was getting her point across with such few words. It was very efficient. That's what I'm gonna say.
Definitely. Yeah, it was just kind of weird to see it happen like that because like I wasn't expecting that at all.
Hell no.
I thought it was funny. Just her trying to convey what she wanted to say in like one word, set portions, I guess, one word sentences, trying to portray what she wants. So
I did think it was kind of interesting though. Like I'm really curious how she ended up in that childlike state. I'm not sure if the Tencent did something to her or like if she was like I know we thought that maybe she was like banished from the Horai portion of the island, which is
Mhm.
why she's living out in the second ring. So like maybe when they did that, they like limited her ability to channel Tan or something like that. That way she is in the forever state of a child. So I'm really curious on that. Like, are we just gonna see her just keep leveling up? Because that'd be fucking cool.
So
I
I have a theory on this. I think that they originally tried to make 8 Tenzin, and there was only so much power, and the 8th was a dud, and that was May. And then they banished her, and she couldn't absorb the power from Horai. And then once she got so close to Horai again, and that's why she kind of like leveled up a little bit and now can talk. So I think the Tenzin as a group are pretty arrogant. We kind of saw that when they were kind of talking to each other. They were arrogant even amongst each other. So if any of them is imperfect, they would probably just say, "Get the fuck up out of here."
I
So
can definitely see that. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, but it was she was talking about she was trying to convey a message of like naval, lower body, and the Yamada clan member Fuchi was kind of like, okay, what about the naval? And they were trying to talk about martial arts, and she was like trying to figure out a way to explain yin and yang or opposites. She was saying weak, strong, light, dark, and then she said Tao. Tao is power, and they were like, oh, is that something that we can use? And they kind of figured out that she was trying to explain like, I have a power to teach you, or there's a power that you guys need to learn to beat them, because she's obviously not a fan of these guys, the Tenzin. But we also saw some of the other characters use and I guess not use, but get introduced to the concept of Tao. We had um, Hoko explaining to Yuzuriha, Senta, and Sagiri about Tao, and he actually can talk. So he was actually explaining it's something that they would call yin and yang, and that it's a life force. Tao, like chakra, flows through everything, and every living being has it, but you have to learn how to utilize it.
Yeah,
And,
definitely. I was gonna say we also got a really interesting discussion from Senta during that portion of it too, which I will get into. But it is cool that they're starting to kind of lay the groundwork, and it's interesting to see that each of these three different groups, because we have Gabimaru and Dragon, we have Senta, Sagiri, and with Hoka, and then we also have the two brothers who had just crawled out of the pit, and it's all coming together. So I'm really excited to see these three groups converge, put all the information together, and just go to town on these fucking Tencent. I think that's what's going to happen.
yeah, I think so too. Um, my favorite part of the episode was kind of seeing Chobi again, and he kind of realized that maybe their weakness wasn't in their head like it is with people. You can give somebody a concussion or knock them out by hitting them in the face or the jaw or something. And he was like, they always grow from bottom to top, like plants. So maybe their weakness is in their navel. And him just putting that together on his own was really, really cool.
yeah,
He's
I
he's
really
a,
enjoyed his them putting that in there and showing his aspect, side point of view compared to May trying to show Gabby and Hoko trying to tell Sagiri and them. So it was
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that we're getting introduced to all this information, but nobody else is putting it together. I really like when shows do that, where like you have an idea of what's going on, but like it's from three different viewpoints. So like it'll be exciting to see it all come together.
yes. One thing that I thought was especially cool is it seems like Shion already uses Tao, because he's blind and he knows where people are. He can sense their what he calls wavelengths, and everything emits a wavelength that he can like see and recognize, and that's how he attacks people. That's how he perceives the whole world. So you have one group that's learning that this is a power system. You have one group that's learning the concept behind it, and you have um Chobi figuring out some weaknesses just in general, just from his own knowledge, and then you have Shion um, that could actually use it. So if all these groups come together, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be really fun to watch, man.
Definitely.
And I really don't like that. 3 or 4 or 5 episodes ago, I don't know how long ago it was, where they made a big deal about Gabimaru's village coming to the island. And here it is. We're almost to the finale. I think we got 2 or 3 episodes left, and we still haven't seen them. It's like they disappeared. No more talk about them. Nothing. So
That's a good point.
Could be a season 2 thing. I'm not sure. I mean, this manga ran for like 120 something chapters, so we're definitely not getting it done. It's definitely not going to be done after this one.
It's just wild that they brought it up so early and then didn't done nothing with it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that could have also just been one of the Saimon just basically trying to fuck with Gabimaru. We don't know.
It could, yeah, true.
That's a good point.
My favorite part of this episode, though, was Senta kind of like questioning this whole fake religion thing. I was super fascinated by that because I've been talking the whole time we've been watching this show about how I love how they're blending all these different elements from various religions throughout Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And Senta, I thought it was just like a storytelling thing. I didn't realize that those religions actually fully exist in this world and people have studied them like Senta has, because he's putting it together. And he's sitting here like, dude, this is like a giant fucking pyramid scheme. Like, what's going on here? Like, they're just pulling shit from left and right and putting it together. And I thought that was super interesting. They even brought up a criminal who I'm not sure if he was part of the original group, but he was convicted as a criminal for basically trying to create a cult to take down the emperor. And he did the same thing. So it's super interesting to see from that viewpoint what this show is actually,
Yeah, he was saying, Sita was saying, like, it seems like all these different aspects of these different religions are like very haphazardly thrown together on this island. He even went as far as to say maybe this island is man-made. I don't know if I believe in all that, but it'd be crazy if it was. It'd be absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
I don't know how you would do that, but
I don't want to say man-made unless somebody just showed up and found Tan, and then they're like, "Oh, this is my shit. We're making a cult, baby."
Yeah, and I guess like maybe if you have a high enough understanding of Tao, you can create things because it is life force. So it could be
that, or the Tencent are actually just his followers that he has given power to, and there's a big baddie we don't know about yet. That could be it too. I'm not sure.
Oh, that'd be mad spicy.
Yeah,
that'd be mad spicy.
It's interesting. I would actually enjoy it if they made it into being man-made, because then it would make a little bit more sense about everything that's happening, on this island. So,
yeah. I did want to ask you guys one question. I know we're coming to the end of this episode, but we already know about like elemental attacks, at least with Gabimaru, his Authentic Blaze. Do you guys think that's like related to Tao, or is this like a completely different power system? Like, what are y'all's thoughts on that? I haven't quite decided, because they are creating things like elemental things. I'm sure if he uses fire, some people could use water and earth and bullshit like that, different elemental things. But 2 power systems, one show.
It could. I think it could be similar, likely from the same energy force, but not taught that way. Because if you think about it, Tao is very similar to chakra, and that's what you use ninjutsu with. So like maybe the combination, or at least in Naruto, but like maybe it's the same idea but just taught differently. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think that it really made this show more interesting to me, and I think it has an ability to, well, the potential to kind of like rise up on my list, I guess, in my rating.
do you think Gabimaru knows how to use Tao, or do you think he's do you think he's unknowingly using Tao to fight, like dodge attacks and shit? We see him dodging and assessing the battlefield, kind of like Shion does. But do you think he's like unknowingly using it?
Yeah, I think he probably has like a basic grasp of it. and like it was taught by his ninja master in a way that's different than how Mei and the Tenzin use it. Like exactly what Dan was saying. Actually, that's what I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he might know how to like channel that energy force through ninjutsu, but he doesn't know how to channel it in the same way that Shion does with the waves to actually see the flow of Tao. I mean, that was something they learned way later in Naruto, was like how to actually see and like understand the flow of chakra. Unless you've got magic eyes, of course, but we haven't seen those in the show yet.
One thing I don't want us to miss hitting on is the doshi that kind of pulled up on Toma and Chobi, and then also Gabimaru's group with Tamiya. The doshi are like kind of like the servants of the Tenzin. They're direct reports, and he was using Tao on Chobi, and that's how he figured out he was blind. He's like, there's a huge spot on his head where he can't sense anything, and he actually kind of pieced him up pretty good because of that. So that's something else that I think we need to look out for, and another element to the story.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was cool that basically the Sochin were failed attempts at making doji. So I thought that was interesting to see too.
That slug face dude was really creeping me out. I have like an irrational fear of like slugs and snails. And like him and having that fucking weird ass face. My skin was crawling when they first showed him. I had to like look away. I literally looked away. I'm so afraid of snails.
Slugs and snails don't bother me. It's the leeches, dude.
See, I don't have a big problem with leeches, even though they're actually way grosser than slugs.
Yeah, I've never had a slug latch on to me and like.
So you saying you don't mess with Tsunade, bro?
Dude, Katsuya freaks me the fuck out. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm like not even joking a little bit, bro. There was one time we went to, I think it was the zoo when we were younger. I think I was like 5 or 6, and there was like this massive fucking snail, and they wanted you to touch it, and I just cried. Shit scarred the fuck out of me. Yeah,
dude.
Still working through that.
I was gonna say you can never move to you can never live in the One Piece world. So thank God you didn't pick that. Actually, didn't you pick One Piece?
Yeah, he did. He did live
there's cell phones or snails.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I just won't use a fucking snail phone. Goddamn.
He's like, I don't need the Den Moshi. I don't need the Den Moshi in my life.
They got the little stick ones that aren't actually slugs. I can do that.
Oh, they got a little snail on the top.
The tiny responders.
Yeah, they have a tiny snail on top.
That's I probably wouldn't use it. Fuck that shit.
You would just be a hermit, bro.
Okay, let's get on the Insomniacs after school. I don't want to talk about slugs anymore. Fuck this.